Welcome to another episode of the Rediscover Geek podcast. I am your host, and this is a very special election night episode. And I'm joined here by my trusty analysts to go over everything. I really tried to do like an intro like they do on the news, but it just didn't work. But I'm here with Anthony and Caesar, and we're going to try to talk about things that aren't politics related on this night where all I'm thinking about is politics. And not going to say it. So,
Yeah, let's not.
so how you guys doing? How's your guys' week been? How's your day been? I feel like I'm gonna go out and just say it that I'm probably not gonna be on the level today. I'm gonna be like anxious, constantly looking this way because I'm watching the news on this side. And I'm gonna be panicky, maybe fidgety. You might see my face make weird facial expressions because I'm very upset. So yeah, but how are you guys doing?
Oh, like the name of our episode is everything's fine.
Everything's fine.
Yeah. My week is actually not too shabby, as as you two know. I don't think all the viewers out there know, but I just started a job last week, so that's been keeping me busy and keeping me very, very tired.
Yeah.
To the point where juggling that and juggling this is fun. But yeah, beyond that, I mean, yeah, it is election nights. And I am glad we have this show. I am glad that election night is on Tuesday and we have our show on Tuesday because it's keeping me away from the television, unlike Chris Jansen.
Oh, dude, I'm like I had two TVs running, one with one news network on another, and I just bounce back and forth during commercials. It's terrible. It's terrible. Anthony, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
Hmm.
That's awesome.
I'm living the dream, man.
What
Been
I don't know
doing
if
is
it's
the
awesome.
sarcasm, but
dream?
I feel like it's not sarcasm.
I want to know what the
Well,
dream is.
Yeah,
the dream is being above ground, my brother.
being
Then
above
we're
ground.
Above ground.
we're all living the dream then.
Yep.
Yes, we are. That's great. So we're gonna get into it. With headlines, we're gonna start off with some sad news over the weekend. Sean Connery. Um,
Man.
when I saw it, I was like, oh, that is like really like obviously it's I love Sean Connery movies, what he's been in. But then I looked at he was like 90, and I was like, okay, he lived to like the right like a good age of 90. But it's really sad. It's sad when you see an acting legend pass away. So yeah, so I wanted to open that up and discuss that with you guys. There you go. See, that's what I'm talking about. I'm just gonna throw out random things. I'm not gonna question. I'm just gonna.
Focus, Chris. Focus.
I am focused, man.
No, man, I agree with you. When I saw this news, I saw it. What was it? Saturday, I believe.
Yeah.
Woke up to that news, and yeah, it was a bummer. Sean Connery, another big part of our lives growing up, because we saw him in so many movies. He was in so many awesome movies, and it just really got me thinking about how many great actors we're starting to lose. Sean Connery being one of those iconic actors in Hollywood, and made me realize, one of the few actors that are left that actually made you want to go watch a movie because he was in it. You don't really see too
Yeah.
many of those actors, those iconic actors nowadays anymore. Maybe because we're getting older and the ones we grew up with are just slowly dying off, unfortunately. But yeah, it was a bummer, man. Same with I'm on the same page with you. Definitely love the guy. Quoted him so many times, and obviously his accent. Who doesn't love his accent? But
Yeah.
yeah, one of my favorite movies of his, definitely Indiana Jones. And just quoting Junior, Junior.
The Last Crusade.
Love it,
It was
dude.
a good what a good third episode too. I guess a sequel, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
And
Um.
who better to play Indiana Jones's father? Honestly,
Yeah. I was actually gonna ask. I know that you're a big Bond fan, Anthony. Where does he rank on Bonds for you?
It's interesting because having rewatched his Bonds recently, um, it's tough because I really enjoyed Pierce Brosnan. I think Pierce
Mhm.
Brosnan got like maybe raked over the coals a little bit too much because I understood some of the criticisms about his portrayal of Bond, but I think also too that was again time and place and the writing still. And what's interesting is watching Sean Connery Bond now. it's like
Yeah,
it's
they
like some of the stuff that he does in those films. It's like it's cringe. Like you're. It's like wow. It's wow.
but I feel like that's like movie the way like just the change in how like movies are made now and the way the writing is and
Yeah, but it's
like
still it's like it's rough. I mean, I think out of all the Bonds, when it's analyzed, I think they consider him the top because he matches what the character is. I think the
yeah.
closest. So from what Ian Fleming wrote, he's like the quintessential Bond because he
Mhm.
does. He has that kind of charismatic quality, but is still kind of a jerk, and it
Yeah.
plays that kind of uh, duality of being aloof, kind of acting aloof, but very serious. Um, yeah, so it's interesting. I don't know if he's yeah, it's really tough because again, if you look at it from that perspective, then yeah, I consider him the best Bond in that regard. But as my personal favorite watching, actually, it's almost a toss up between Pierce and Daniel Craig.
Daniel Craig.
It's
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
yeah.
I would say like it is weird. Like I think I kind of rate Sean Connery and Pierce Brosnan on the same level. It's like I wouldn't know. Like mine is Daniel Craig, but then it's one of those two, and I just don't know which one it is. Um, but yeah, I think I mean he kind of I mean he created the role. Like when people think
Yeah.
Bond,
Yeah.
that's exactly what
And
they
he's
think
good. He's
of.
got that good balance of he kind of get the sense that Sean Connery was a brawler. So when things hit the fan, he could duke it out, but can be that very debonair, suave
Yeah,
aspect as well. And I think Pierce does the debonair very well, but I don't necessarily see Pierce as like the brawler. You
yeah.
know,
And then Daniel Craig's like the brawler.
it's just a straight brawler. Like so, I think
Oh,
again, I think that's why. And Timothy Dalton, I felt was a little bit more too. Same thing. I think Timothy Dalton got like a bad rap in some aspects. George Lansbury as well. I think also he was in it for
yeah.
only one, but I think he played it very well. And I think he probably out of all the Bonds was the only one that could straight up compete with Sean Connery's Bond.
Yeah.
Ironically enough, I think he had both qualities very well too. And I think if we'd gotten to see him in subsequent films, I think it would have been really interesting.
Sorry, I'm watching the trailer right now. I actually, just so you guys know, I shut CNN off because I had too many windows open and too many videos going on my screen. So I sacrificed CNN so I can watch the trailers
Oh,
and just be distracted.
you'll probably be surprised too. You come back and you'll be surprised.
Not, or just deep sorrow when I get back in. I'm a huge fan of The Rock. Um, I don't think it's underrated film. I think everybody likes it.
Hmm.
But it is like one of those movies that when it's on, I'll watch it. And Sean Connery is like the main reason I'll watch it because it's just such a good movie. It's and it's a Michael Bay film, so it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, like it's. I mean, I enjoy some Bay films. Like I enjoyed the first Transformers. I didn't enjoy anything past that. But yeah, The Rock, Transformers. I just thought that was really good. And then I also obviously Highlander, which is like a personal favorite of mine. That whole franchise. Um, yeah, he just played so many iconic like characters.
Hmm.
Like yeah, yeah.
What
No,
about you, Cedar? What was your favorite Sean Connery?
it has to be the Untouchables.
I was just
Mm,
say Untouchable. I didn't even.
I love the Untouchables. Damn good movie. He was in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. I enjoyed that
Yeah,
one, but yeah, definitely the Untouchables
I
for
was
me.
barely in Robin Hood.
Yeah, but still, man. I mean, it's always nice to see him. I always like the peppered hair Sean Connery when he got older. That's the one I remember growing up with.
Yeah,
I didn't really grow up with the James Bond movies, so I'm not gonna even pretend to claim those whatsoever. But Yeah, The Untouchables, one of my favorite movies growing up, and he was awesome in it. And it's the only one that he actually won an Oscar for. He was nominated for that, and he actually won the Oscar for it. So, Untouchables definitely on the top of my list for that one. But like I mentioned, Indiana Jones, I just love the way he played Indiana Jones's father. He nailed it, and then I can't imagine anybody else doing it. Like
Yeah,
he will always be Indy's father. Period.
yeah.
Yeah. Dad, Dad, Dad. Yeah, I think,
Yes.
well, Harrison Ford too, he made that tweet or that statement that was really, really nice, like
Yeah.
talking about, I got, there was no, what was it? No other joy, or I can't tell you the pleasure of being paid to drive Sean Connery around in a motorcycle.
I always hear it too. I think I saw like after they're like you hear these stories and on Twitter someone posted like Steve Jobs sent like him like was like bugging Sean Connery to do an Apple commercial, and I
Oh,
think it was like in the
really?
90s. And
Mm.
so someone posted the letter that Sean Connery sent back to Steve Jobs, and it was like, you need to look it up. It's just like this so blunt. I don't want to do your stupid like. Just like stop bugging me. Don't ever ask me again to do this. And you're
That
like,
is
wow,
awesome.
Steve Jobs. Like, yeah, that's it's crazy.
Yeah,
Um,
Ford said, you don't know pleasure until someone pays you to take Sean Connery for a ride in the sidecar of a Russian motorcycle bouncing along a bumpy, twisted mountain trail and getting to watch him squirm. God, we had fun.
yeah,
Yeah, that must have been such, yeah, to be able to work with someone like that. Just like you could tell, like he's just Connery just had that presence. Just
yeah.
walk in a room and just command it.
Oh,
Command
absolutely.
it. Like he had that presence. Like just almost like I'd be so intimidated. Like if I was
Yeah,
acting against him, like so intimidated that if I mess up, he's gonna yell at me
yeah,
in his like accent. But then I'm gonna think it's like so cool that he like I just
yeah.
got cussed out by Sean Connery. Like
When he
how
was
great would
big
that be?
too, 6'2",
Yeah,
it's a
good,
large
good,
man.
good stuff, man. Yeah, he's gonna be missed. I mean, he hasn't done like recent movies obviously for a
Yeah,
while, but
he'd retired
yeah, he
for
retired
a
for a
while
while.
What
back,
was?
right?
Does anybody know his last film?
His
I
last film was actually, I'm looking at it on IMDb. He yeah, it looks like it was The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen in
gentleman, yeah.
2003.
Was that really it? Holy moly!
No
Yeah, he
wonder he
did.
probably
After
like
that,
he
he
decided to take a step
was
back.
fucking out.
He's like, "Yep, I did my picture for money, and now I'm done."
He probably is like, man, these type of superhero movies, they'll never catch on.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah,
Um.
sad, 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 sad time. He's gone. Like you said, he will be missed. Absolutely.
Yeah. So we'll move away from that. Other headlines. We're gonna move into the television section. I briefly touched on this last week, and we didn't have time. I don't think you had time to like prep the trailer for it, but the new Saved by the Bell for the Peacock Network. I think it's the
Mm,
Peacock Network, right? Yeah.
the
They released
cock.
the trailer, and I'm actually really digging the trailer, and I can't wait to hear it because I know you guys finally watched it. And I know that you're probably on the opposite end of where I stand, but no, I'm looking forward to it, and maybe it's only going to be like I'll watch like 2 episodes, and I realize that it's not as like it's not like I'm thinking like Cobra Kai, like it's just going to bring me back, and I'm going to enjoy it, but so I'm like really looking forward to it based off the trailer. What do you guys think? I know you guys saw it. What are your thoughts on the trailer?
You know, real quick, one thing I do want to touch on is how much everyone has aged. The original
Yeah.
cast has aged, but then you look at Mario Lopez or AC Slater,
That's a good
Oh,
and
there
he
story.
he's
looks
looking.
like AC Slater.
Oh my gosh, he
What
looks
the
like he could still be in
hell?
high school. Yeah,
Jeez, man, the guy looks good. You know, hats off to him. I wish I knew his damn routine, but yeah, Albert Clifford still looking good. Yeah, this trailer, like I mentioned to you yesterday, I had to think this over, but I said yesterday that man, this trailer just did not sell me on it. There was nothing about this trailer that made me want to say yes. I can't wait to jump back into it. It just I don't know. I don't know what it is, but to your point, Jansen, they are owning the campiness. They are owning,
Yeah.
what it is, and I have to respect that because as cheesy and as goofy as this looks, this is exactly what we were watching as kids growing up. This is what Saved by the Bell
Yeah,
was.
it's a modern version
Yeah, it
of
really is, and I can't really say too many bad things about it because man, this is what we watched growing up, and they're owning it. And if they do it well, like they did in Cobra Kai, then they might have something good on their hands. But I'm gonna have to give it a shot. Yesterday I talked crap about it, but I'm gonna have to give it a shot. But one thing that I didn't like was the whole "Friends Forever" song that they used. I was like, I get
oh
it. It's a touchback. It's a callback to the original Saved by the Bell when they were what was it, the Zack Attack?
yeah, Zack Attack.
I get it, but yeah, I feel like maybe they should have used the original song and them actually singing. I think that would have been cool. This new modern version of Friends Forever, it's probably what didn't really sell me on the trailer, but I'll watch. I'll watch.
Say you, Anthony.
I think I did not see the right trailer because
Oh,
the one I watched had the music. I'm so excited.
Oh my god.
So, how long was the trailer that you guys watched?
oh, I mean, it's
It's the
like a
one that's
full length.
playing now.
Yeah, it's a full length one.
Yeah, I think it's like a 3 minute trailer, I believe.
Oh yeah, so I didn't see that one. I saw, I guess, the
So you
one.
can't speak educated on this, so I don't even want to hear your thoughts because you're basing it off a trailer that has nothing. No, but seriously, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, I think it's, if it'll be interesting because it seems like some of the recent reboots have been pretty good in terms of they I think we mentioned it where they're kind of leaning into either the kookiness or the campiness of the original series. They're just kind of just embracing it, and they're not trying. I think that's the thing. A lot of reboots sometimes they try to get too clever on bringing back a series, and I think it seems at least this way. It seems that they're doing a little bit where they're just like, all right, we're bringing it to a new time, but we're kind of keeping all of the same goofiness.
Yeah, elements that made it, just making it
Yeah,
more
but
adult too. Like,
yeah, but then still obviously making it more, more appropriate for the times,
yeah,
because weren't we talking? You watch some of these older episodes, and it's like, dude,
oh, they're terrible.
what were they
I'm
thinking?
super curious to find out if Zach Morris is still an asshole. Like we had the
They
conversation like a
can't.
while back where I was talking about like just how like terrible of a human being that Zach Morris is.
I can't imagine them
And
changing his character
yeah, I feel like they
whatsoever.
have to keep it as terrible, right? And they kind of, I'm hoping they play into how bad he was as like a person.
And then he's very proud of his son, so clearly his son is going down the same path.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Um, no, I'm looking forward. It comes out later this month. Something to watch.
now, here's
Something
the
Do
to
you
watch.
problem.
do you have Peacock
Yeah,
though?
that's what I was gonna ask.
Oh, I do. I do. We talked about this.
Really?
Yeah, I have them all,
Man,
man. I'm
Gosh,
I'm
man.
addicted to watching everything. Well, what it is that it's more of like I do the trial periods, and then I'm like, okay, the trial. I don't want to go on and cancel it because I might want to watch something. But then it's just now I probably haven't watched Peacock since we finished Yellowstone, which is like 2 months ago. So now I'm just paying for it, and that's what they do. I'm like their
Yeah,
perfect.
you're
I
perfect.
I am the perfect customer for
Yeah.
Netflix
Sign up
for
for it and then
like
never cancel because
yeah
you forget about it or you
yeah
just
yeah. Well, we'll move on to net. Like actually, no, this is a good segue into Netflix because Netflix just raised their prices again, or they're raising their prices again, and now it's hitting that point where I am gonna start seeing that in my bank account because like I get the 4K version. I don't know if you guys what plan you guys get, but now it's gonna move up to $18 instead of
yep,
$16, and it
yep,
was like
mm,
$14, and it keeps moving up. And so now $18 out of every month, like you start noticing that,
yep.
and like now it's just like I think like now we're just getting into. I mean, I might as well just be paying for cable at this point.
yeah, we've gotten back to the
Yeah,
same spot that we were like moving away from, and it's become
yeah,
the same thing. Now you have to decide what services do I really want to keep. And
yeah. Yeah, it's like the channels. Like, because right now, let's see, I have Peacock, I have Netflix, I have HBO Max, I have I
Disney
have a
Plus.
trial period going for Epics and Stars because I wanted to watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer and it was
Jeez.
only on Stars during Halloween, so I had to get Stars. Um, Amazon, Hulu, um, Crunchyroll, uh,
Disney Plus.
Disney Plus.
Talk about
Yeah,
your
that's
first world problems, man.
Gosh,
Jesus
yeah.
yeah.
Christ.
I want your job. Paying for all these streaming services.
No, man, it's literally that's all like all my cash, like my allowance goes to things that I don't even watch. Like,
See, I'm not paying for all those services that you're paying for, and I don't mind paying for the services I am. The only reason that it bugs me that Netflix is raising their prices is because they're really not giving us anything. They're not adding. They're removing and maybe giving us other exclusive shows.
I
So
feel like they're
What do you
adding.
mean? Netflix is like, it seems like every week there's a buttload
I
of
saw this.
content.
I'm gonna have to send you guys a link if I can find it again. But there was a list of what they're removing and what they're adding, and it just kind of evens out to the point where it's just the same content.
We'll put it this way. What streaming service do you watch the most?
Right now, I would have to say Hulu.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hulu
That's
is
where
the
I think
one.
it's really going to start coming into. It's like really, because we watch actually Netflix probably still the most out of
Yeah.
all the services. So it makes sense that if that's the one that we're using the most, that yeah, we would keep paying the monthly fee, and we would look at other services to cut before Netflix. But
Do
yeah, I
you,
can see it where you start reducing your watching on that service, then yeah, it can definitely become why I pay for it.
I mean, you got Disney Plus where you can kind of say the same thing. Before I jumped over to the package deal, I used to just have Disney Plus, and I paid the full year, so I was good for the whole year. But I probably watched Disney Plus for a good 6 months, and then it just kind of died out. I would go in there and
Yeah,
just dabble, so half of that year kind of went to waste. And then
yeah,
I went and
yeah.
I got the package where I got Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus, and I'm watching Hulu a lot more now. So now I can justify it. I'm not
yeah.
just paying for Disney Plus. I'm paying for the full package. So that's justified. Netflix, yeah, I agree with you. Where I don't watch it enough, and if I'm watching Netflix, it's because I'm purposely looking for something to watch to
Yeah,
justify why I'm paying at least for that
yeah,
month.
Mm.
totally.
I watch. I think we balance out. We're pretty good with Netflix and Hulu. It's kind of like our main ones. I watch HBO Max. Tasha doesn't watch anything on it. But what I need to do, I need to start like unsubscribing and then resubscribing when shows that I want to watch are on.
Yeah.
Like I just have to be better at that. And I think that's like laziness on my part because I'm just like, it's like too much of a hassle to log in and cancel.
And click cancel.
Yeah, it's I have to find cancel. Sometimes they don't put it in like
And
it's like a
that's why they
few.
do it. That is
I
why
know it's
they
a
do
few
it.
Exactly.
clicks. Yeah, no, they got me. I am like I'm
That's
that guy that can't go to a car dealership by himself because I'll pay more for the car. I'll get like the added on bonuses.
Get all the
Talk to
add-on,
Tasha.
the
that's
Yeah,
packages.
talk to Tasha about it. Like, she's so angry with me on the cars that I bought.
That's the equivalent of you trying to cancel DirecTV and then suddenly, oh, we found a really good deal for you.
Yeah, like I go on, I'm like, hey, this is getting too much. Like Spectrum, like we have a Spectrum package. It's like a bulk package. But every time I go and cancel, they talk me into keeping it by lowering the price, and then I'm like paying like maybe $3 less than I'm currently paying, and I think I justified in my head that this is um
I'll tell you this. I used to be a very loyal DirecTV customer, and I officially canceled when I finally moved to San Jose. But yeah, I was a loyal customer for like 13 years, and every time I tried to cancel, they suckered me in. They suckered me in, and I learned that obviously that's the way to do it. So it got to the point where I got through my original contract, and then I was just basically on a year to year thing. And every year I would call and try to cancel, and I pretty much got Sunday ticket free every year. Free Sunday ticket, free Sunday ticket. But they kept me on. They kept me on. They kept me on. And it goes to show you, is like, they can give you free stuff. And the thing that really bugs me is, oh, I see you're a very loyal customer. Well, because you're such a loyal customer, we actually have this deal for you. I was like, why didn't you call me to tell me about this deal? Why do I have to call and threaten to cancel for me to be all of a sudden a loyal customer and you guys are rewarding me now? It doesn't make sense, but
They're not going to call all their loyal
Of
customers.
course not. Of course not. They don't have to call our customers. Just hey, send us an email. That's easy to do, right? Mass email. Bam.
I don't know. At what point though does Netflix become like? Is there a dollar amount where you start thinking like this is a little bit too pricey for me?
Yeah, that's interesting because I mean, you mentioned almost where it's like you're starting to be a little concerned about it. So yeah, what is that price? 25 bucks a month, 30 bucks a month? I
Yeah,
think
I
See,
once
feel
you
like
start
here's
crossing 20 bucks a month, it starts you start questioning it a little bit more strongly.
here's the
yeah,
other
that's what
thing. How much are we paying for HBO Max? What's the price on that?
14.99.
14.99.
Well, I'm paying the 11.99 because
Oh,
I
because
got that a
you
1 year deal.
got the 1 year deal. Yeah,
Yeah.
I do 14.99.
See, I felt like when I finally signed up for HBO Max, I felt like, damn, 14.99, that's pretty expensive. And then I realized, wait, but I'm paying more for Netflix. And now I'm trying to weigh out the pros and cons. What do I really get out of both of them? And yeah,
You get
both of
more
them,
on Netflix.
yeah, absolutely, you
Yeah,
do. So that's why I'm like, okay, 18 bucks, not a big deal. But yeah, you're right. Where is that threshold? Where do you finally start thinking, maybe I should just go back to cable? But unfortunately, cable or satellite, you're not going to get those Netflix exclusives, which are killer right now.
yeah,
Um,
which is literally everything. I mean,
yeah,
that's why they keep increasing the price, right? Because they're throwing so much behind original
Yeah.
content that it's just costing them like billions of dollars each year to make all this stuff for us to view.
hmm
So, yeah, it's actually you get way more for your value on Netflix than you do for like an HBO.
Well, yeah, and also too, you look at all the big signings they did the last several years. Shonda Rhimes, her new show's coming out. Ryan
Yeah,
Murphy. So they're bringing all this talent too to have these original shows and movies, and a lot of the films too. You know,
yeah.
they're doing like Scorsese did the big thing with The Irishman.
Irishman, yeah.
Um,
Um,
yeah.
I think
So
I think it's really funny that we're actually having this conversation because about a year ago or a little over a year ago, everyone was talking about how when Disney Plus comes out, Netflix is in trouble. Oh, you better watch out because what they're gonna do with Disney Plus and then Hulu, and now we're here getting ready to spend more money on Netflix.
well, I feel like
true, but I think it's only because the other companies have really upped their game within the last year or two. Netflix has had carte blanche for almost the
yeah,
entire streaming run. So it's really now it's like we haven't really seen any threat because the streaming services for the competitors haven't been as robust because Netflix spent so much money at the
Yeah.
beginning
Yep.
that
I,
they got such a lead that it's really going to be a while before the competitors really start catching up.
and I just don't think I think it's just going to get to a point where you don't view everybody as one. Like you just view them as like you have HBO, you might have Showtime, and you start like you're just gonna view them as channels, and that's how like
Oh
Yeah.
I
yeah.
don't think it's
Yeah.
ever gonna get to a point where I'm like, I'm gonna cancel Disney Plus because I need to keep Netflix. Unless obviously like finances get to like such a point where you do have to make those decisions. And some people do. Um, but right now I'm not. So I just view it as like entertainment. Like this is what I want my entertainment spend. But yeah, I think once the $20 mark, I think $20 I'll start like, okay, now you really have to start pumping content to me is that will keep me entertained on a daily basis. Um, when you start hitting that much.
Do you
But
guys feel the same way about Amazon Prime that you do about like Netflix and Hulu, where it's kind of on the same platform where you're paying monthly or annually?
well, I feel like it's weird. Amazon to me though is I like the content on
hmm
Amazon, and I watch some of it, like some of the newer shows, like obviously they have like Lord of the Rings series that's going to come out, and
hmm
the Wheel of Time, and some like bigger stuff that's going to be coming out. Um, but right now, like we only have Amazon because of package deliveries. Like
Yeah,
See,
and that's the
that's
same for
why
it's
us. It's
that
almost a
it's
wash because it's like just a free bonus because we
exactly.
do
yeah,
so
that's
many deliveries through
yeah. I
Amazon.
mean, yeah, it's we make it up in just the free
Yeah,
delivery
same
with
here, and that's
Amazon.
why I was asking
So
that question because we're over here talking about how Netflix is raising their prices, and you start to think about what you're spending on other platforms,
Yeah.
like what you just mentioned. You just listed out all those other streaming services, but yeah, when it comes to Amazon Prime, I agree. I feel like it's a bonus. I don't feel like I'm getting. I can't put it on the same, you know, platform as all those other services because I don't feel like I'm getting ripped off from those. I'm not getting
Yeah.
ripped off from the others, but you know what I mean. I don't feel
Yeah.
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 like I gotta justify what I'm watching here or what I'm watching there because I'm spending so much. I feel like Amazon Prime is like to your point, Jansen. I feel like I'm getting my worth it out of all the packages, all the
Yeah.
free 2 day, free 1 day, and then yeah, the video service, the audiobooks, all that is just major bonuses, which is really cool. Maybe
Yeah.
Netflix needs to start doing something like that. Huh?
I don't know. Netflix. I don't think Netflix wants to get into the competing against
To the
Amazon on
shipping.
the online shopping market. um, cool. Actually, you know what? This is man. These kind of all tie into each other. Like we were talking about another stream, Crunchyroll news that Sony might buy out Crunchyroll, which is pretty cool. Like I'm actually looking forward to it because, like I said, I have Crunchyroll. But Sony already owns Funimation,
Hmm.
so I just feel like at one point I feel like when Crunchyroll has some of Funimation on it, but at the beginning I felt like they were kind of a combined thing at one point, and then they split because I don't remember if I'm correct in that. But now yeah, having them back I think it's actually really cool to have Funimation and Crunchyroll. Um, that's gonna be like a good anime value if you love anime. That's essentially like all the animes you watch in one place.
But I
That's
mean,
cool
what
for a
is
billion
that?
dollars too.
So what does that mean? I mean, are we going to be able to get all the Crunchyroll library? Are we going to get it now on PlayStation Now? Are we going to be able to watch it there? Is it there now? Like what exactly does that mean?
What do you mean? Was it on
Like that's what I
PlayStation
don't know.
now?
I don't have PlayStation Now. That would be one of the streaming services I don't have. But that's essentially basically you're paying for TV, right? That's like another version of
No, it's
cable or
No,
PlayStation
it's for
Now
games.
is it's games.
well, I'm sorry, not PlayStation Now, but
PlayStation View. I think
thank you. Yes, PlayStation
they
View.
nixed that, right?
Did
Yeah,
they?
Didn't they
they
cancel
they
that?
nixed
Yeah,
it.
yeah, they nixed it.
I
So
think it was at
No,
the
so
beginning of the year or at the end of last year. They shut it down
okay.
essentially.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean it's just another streaming. Like Crunchyroll right now is just an app that you download on your smart TV, like Hulu and all that stuff. Funimation has a Funimation app that you download and you pay a monthly subscription. So I just feel like there's going to be a combined thing. So instead of 4.99, 7.99 or whatever it is, you're going to be paying 9.99 and you're going to get both of them,
Okay,
which I
that
think
makes
is
sense.
cool. Yeah.
And like I said,
Well,
sorry, Hulu really stepped up their anime library, so that's really cool. I'm really busy on Hulu, like I mentioned. That's the one platform I'm really watching the most right now, and that's mostly because of anime. I'm currently watching Attack on Titan, but yeah, I mean, I'd be interested in Crunchyroll and Sony partnership, or not even partnership, but ownership.
Ownership. Yeah.
But yeah,
do you
sorry, Anthony,
think
I
no,
interrupted you.
Mark? Oh, no worries, Mark. Do you think they would just roll it into Funimation? Like they would essentially close Crunchyroll but roll the entire catalog? Like, or would they
No,
just roll Funimation into
I think they roll
Crunchyroll?
Funimation and the Crunchyroll. I feel like Crunchyroll probably had a bigger viewership,
Mm,
or like a subscriber base. I don't know for sure, but Crunchyroll's like the dominant
oh,
anime
Mhm.
platform right now, um, as far as I know, because it's the only one. Like I know Funimation, but it's the only one that I really know of. So I think they roll it into Funimation or roll Funimation into Crunchyroll. Um, but yeah, it'll be interesting. It was $1 billion purchase though. They've paid, or if they do, I don't think it's finalized, but if they do, it's
no, I
a
think they're closed. I don't know if they've
yeah,
closed. I don't think they've closed it yet.
yeah, that's a hefty price for
Yeah.
Hefty,
anime.
hefty, hefty.
Hefty price. Um, cool.
No,
Now we're done with the ones that tie in together.
Oh, no more
Oh, and
segues.
you know what? Not even better. Even better. Speaking of Sony, no, I'm joking. Um,
Hey, that
speaking
works.
of
That
Sony,
works.
actually,
Yeah.
yeah, actually it
woo,
does.
we're getting close. Mere days away.
Yeah, mere days away, and I want to talk about Spider-Man costume. They announced like day of digital purchase
Day
of
one digital
day
release.
one. Oh yeah, day one release for Spider-Man Miles Morales. You get the Into the Spider-Verse costume, Miles Morales. And have you guys have seen the trailer, right?
Oh, I've seen it. I don't know if Anthony saw it, but it's live
I've
now.
completely forgot about that
And
one.
if you're watching at home, don't adjust your screens. That is what it looks like. It looks
It-
incredible. animated just like it is in the Spider-Verse movie. Oh my god, that looks incredible.
Yeah, the frame rate, like they slow, like when you put the costume on, it slows down the frame rate of the frame rates change for you in the costume. Everything else, it just look at like it. Oh, it looks
It
incredible.
looks awesome, and
Like,
yeah, like you said, the frame rate changes for your costume. So if you pay attention to Spider-Man, if you're watching this trailer right now, pay attention to Spider-Man and notice that the frame rate changes, but only on Spider-Man. If you pay attention to the background, it stays the same.
yeah,
It's impressive what they did
Wow,
with that.
that
it's
is,
crazy. Yeah.
jeez.
Um, I always thought like I think I brought this up when we were talking about Spider-Man and Spider-Verse, just the way they did, like with the frame rate. So in the movie, he had the lower frame rate at the beginning of the film, and as he gets better and like learns more about his powers and stuff like that, his frame rate gets better and better to
Oh,
where it is at the
interesting.
end. Yeah, so they did like in the movie, and so it's like cool that they do it like in the game as well. Like,
Wow.
yeah, I'm not a fan of his foot disappearing into the ceiling right there or the roof right there, but I can't wait for that to be gone. Like, when's technology going to get to the point where you don't have parts of your body disappearing into like the landscape?
Well, which is crazy because a lot of that tech is already available. So
Yeah,
it's crazy that it's,
yeah. When's that going to happen? I thought that was the next gen console. I don't even know. I'm curious if this is this. I can't remember. Is this trailer the PS5 trailer for it?
That I don't know, but I would hope so. I mean, at this
I
point, you
mean, it
might as
has to
well
be. It's an
showcase
exclusive,
everything.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
see, like right there, his foot just went into the ceiling. Now I'm not very happy about that.
oh my
Dang
god.
it. I shouldn't have watched. Like, I
Pit
just want
Wait,
that to
P.
not be a thing anymore. Like, how do you not
are you
see
not
that?
seeing how incredible the rest of this game looks?
I
You're
know, but that's what, like, it's the little things now that are just gonna be, they're gonna
That's
be
gonna
like,
bug you.
that's gonna bug me now because you're like paying for like next gen and hyping this up, and they still can't fix a problem that you've been having since the original PlayStation. Like, but okay, that's my soapbox. I'm not gonna, like, I didn't even know that was a soapbox until I saw his foot disappear into the roof. So, um, but that's it for the headlines. Pretty short week. I don't even know. I don't know if anything actually came out today, so I wasn't paying attention. I was watching news all day.
headline news
So
wise.
yeah, like I
I
don't
don't.
know if
I don't
anything
think
was
anything
announced
big.
today. I think everybody's so focused on the election that they just don't. No one's paying attention.
Yeah.
No one's gonna. Um. But one thing we're next up is the Mandalorian started this last weekend. The first episode started on the 30th of October on Friday. Um,
Evil
I
laugh.
know, I know you're laughing. I know you've been watching, like you're prepping and you watched the first season. So what did you guys think was first episode? No spoilers because people may not have watched it.
You want to
But
touch on how we want to actually start discussing every episode moving forward, where there will be spoilers?
I mean we can. I was gonna bring that up at some point, but you just brought it up now. So
I mean,
yeah.
we're
Nothing to
talking
So
talk about
Mandalorian,
then.
yeah.
The whole show is a spoiler.
okay, well then, spoiler alert. Tune off.
Yes,
You
please turn
haven't
off if you haven't watched episode. It's actually what chapter 9,
chapter 9. Yeah.
technically. Season
Um.
2, The Mandalorian.
Chapter 9, the child. Chapter 9,
Yes,
the child.
not Baby Yoda, the child.
Yeah. Baby Yoda. So okay, fine. I didn't know if we were gonna spoil because I know you guys hate spoilers, so I didn't know if we were gonna spoil it.
Oh no, that's a good point. It's just it's tough because I think like there's so much in that episode that. And here's the thing. There's the question that I wanted to ask you too. Did you think that it was too heavy on the Easter eggs? Like, do you think he got a little bit, John Favreau, a little bit too fanboy, where it's like, okay, let's make everything that shows up on screen a fucking Easter egg?
I do. I I was actually, this is one of my points that obviously, like, even with the last film that the last, I can't even remember the title of it, Rise of Skywalker, is that the last film? Oh man.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, 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 yes.
Like I just felt like they played off of like Easter egg nostalgia,
Yeah.
and I felt this first episode like I liked it, but it was like a little bit too much with the speeder and the like just everything.
See,
Yeah.
but the thing is, they're not even Easter eggs. I mean, they're right in your face at this point. So I think it's
It's
more
true.
just fan service. It's like, oh, check it out. Like
Yeah.
if you know, you know. You don't have to go looking for it. I do agree, but also, I mean, he goes back to Tatooine. So at that point, expect to see some of the stuff that you've seen before. That's the way I
Yeah.
see
True,
it.
but did we need to go to Tatooine again since they already did it in the first season? And it
Well,
just
Well,
seemed it just
if they
seemed like kind of overt, where it's like, okay, you travel to this place that he had to get some information, and then comes to find out this person's like, no, what you're looking for is Santa Tatooine. It's like, motherfucker, I was just there.
yeah.
Like,
How did I not hear about this Mandalorian on Tatooine when I was
exactly.
there?
He was in the guild, and
Yeah.
yeah,
No one said that
no
there's
one
been
knew that there was
reports of
this
a
random
Mandalorian.
Mandalorian hanging out on Tatooine this entire time. Okay.
Um,
well, I mean,
yeah. I
we
mean, I feel
know that he's technically not a Mandalorian because he's not wearing the armor. So that might be the reason no one knew about it. And there are some rumors, a few people or aliens or whatever you want to call them, few people know of this Mandalorian's existence.
Well, the Mandalorian ended up being the Marshal.
yeah.
So
But
that was kind of like
he's also in this town that's in the middle of nowhere that not many people go and visit.
true, but he wasn't actually hiding.
No,
Yeah.
he's not hiding,
And,
but
and there's this random like gambler all the way out in somewhere else, but he knows
Yeah,
about this random
he knows
town.
about it, but then like especially when they're so big on armor, like
Yeah.
it has to be like like there's no like how did no other Mandalorians travel to this town to find out this Mandalorian that lives in this place? But it's good. I get that they had to do it because they needed to bring like obviously the last time you saw like Boba Fett was on Tatooine. So
exactly.
if you're gonna play that fan service, you have to take it back to Tatooine.
Yep.
Yeah.
Um,
No, and yeah, from a story perspective, in terms of like constructing the narrative, yeah, it obviously has to make sense in that aspect. It's kind of funny, but also too was interesting. I didn't know about this was there's synergy between that character. What was his name? Kavath.
yeah.
He's tied in with that new book that what's his face just wrote, The Aftermath. It's basically bringing back
Oh, really? I didn't know that he was
Zahn.
tied. Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't realize that he was tied into that. That's cool.
So there was kind of some synergy between that as well. So yeah,
Look,
but
I think if you could put Timothy Oliphant in anything, I love Timothy Oliphant. Like I love that he pretty much played his Justified character,
That's
exactly.
but
what I was
And
gonna
he's playing
say.
he's
That's
playing that
exactly what
character
he
in
did.
everything that he's doing. Like in Fargo, the same thing. Episode season 4, he's playing the Marshal.
yeah, he's playing the Marshal in Fargo.
I
Like,
told
you know
Lonnie
what?
the
It's
exact same thing. I told Lonnie is like he's literally just playing his Justified character in
Yeah.
space. He's a space
it's
cowboy.
he's a space cowboy, man, and fine, it works. Like I want to see space cowboy Timothy Oliphant.
Yeah.
Like yeah, I'm down with it. Um,
I mean, it was a gorgeous episode in terms of
Absolutely.
the
oh yeah, I mean
effects, and gosh, it's like beautiful.
they really like stepped up from the first season,
Oh
especially
yeah,
on the
they got some production money, some
Yeah,
extra
they're like,
production money.
okay, we have something here. Let's throw a little bit more money. I mean, I remember hearing about the first one that they had to go out to the 501st cosplay group to like
Yeah, because they didn't
borrow
have enough
because they didn't have
stormtroopers.
enough stormtroopers, so they couldn't afford like stormtrooper costumes.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
they had to go out to the 501st to bring in like outside stormtroopers. Like that's crazy. And now I felt that obviously they don't have
They don't have that
they don't
problem.
have that budget. They don't have that problem now. But I also like the sandworm man, the
Yeah.
dragon. That looked freaking cool. Like
They did a great job with that, definitely.
yeah, yeah.
So were you shocked with the reveal at the end? Were you like, I was not expecting it.
I knew that he was coming in. I was really hoping that he wasn't gonna be Boba Fett, and maybe he's not. Like maybe they haven't really. But I was hoping that they bring him in and he's like a clone or he's like a
Like
leftover
in
relic
Cody or
from.
Rex.
Yeah, I can't. I haven't finished. I haven't finished Star Wars Rebels, so I don't know if Captain Rex survives, like old Rex. Um, but I was hoping that it would be like a clone as opposed to Boba Fett. Like, but I don't know. Who knows? You don't know if that's him or not. You kind of assume it is,
Yeah.
but because he's stuck on there and but then again, you also think like if he's just traveling around, why hasn't he got his armor back? Like,
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
that's the question is, did he choose to remove his armor? Did he remove the helmet and decide to, I'm over this? Did he sell his armor? How did that armor end up where it ended up? Why would like maybe to your point, yeah, that's not Boba Fett. Maybe that's a clone, and that armor is just what's left of Boba Fett, after being digested. But yeah, I'm on. Yeah, I don't know. I don't feel that's gonna be Boba Fett. I agree with Jansen. I think that's gonna be a clone. I think they're leading us to
Hmm.
believe that it is Boba Fett and getting us all excited, and they have a twist coming.
no, I actually would
Interesting.
be way more excited if it was a clone. I
I
just
feel yeah.
love the clones. Like the clones are, and maybe it's because Finn loves the clones so much. Like he's obsessed with Captain Rex and Commander Cody and Commander Wolf, and he's obsessed with all of them. So I want it to be a clone. Like I think that storyline is like one of the best storylines of the Star Wars universe. So I'm really hoping that it is a clone. And like I haven't watched all of Star Wars Rebels because I know like Ahsoka Tano is supposed to come into it, and so I was like, I don't know if Captain Rex survives, but that would be cool to have Ahsoka and then Rex. Like I thought that would be freaking awesome. If I mean, I hope it's good. I hope he's good, and I think it's gonna be fun. Yeah.
I really love the relationship he has with the Sand People. I really love that they showed all of that's
Yeah.
so good, man. That was so good. They gave him more of a spotlight. They gave him more of a reason to be there, and that was enjoyable. This is episode one, and it
Yeah.
delivered. So I'm hoping that the rest of the season's that way. And back to a previous point from a previous episode, I love that they're releasing it week by week by week.
Dude, we're gonna go around and around about this.
Love
Like,
it. Love it because now we can talk about it, we can discuss, we
Got
can
something to look
enjoy,
forward to
and
next
have
week.
something to look
maybe
forward to.
maybe I'll like maybe this conversation we're having now will help me enjoy it more because we can discuss each episode. But I don't okay, I don't want like I think I've mentioned I don't want like maybe a full season, but like give me like more than one episode. Like give me
Now
like three
that I will
episodes.
agree with you. I think I mentioned that to a friend of mine where I wish they could have done what they did with the boys, where they gave us the first three episodes and then it was week by week by week.
Yeah,
I
give
think that
me
would have been cool.
yeah, I just want more. And my brain is trained to want more. So
Especially when it's this
just
good. I mean, they delivered on their first episode. Of course, you're gonna want more after that.
and then I
So
also think that they really can do um if it is weekly and they're releasing like every Friday, like why Friday? Why not do it like Sunday? Like why not make it an event day then? Like if you're gonna do this weekly release, like why don't you bring your Disney? Why don't you bring back your Disney like primetime Sundays where they used to air like movies and stuff like that and it was like family time or whatever? Like release it on Sunday, and so people can watch it as a group, as a family on Sunday night. Like, give it a time. Like, if you're gonna do it, just time it out. Don't release it at 12 a.m. and then you have people talking about it on Twitter at 1 a.m. and you're like, okay, like say it's releasing 7 p.m. on Friday, like on Sunday nights, and then everybody tunes in at 7 p.m. on Sunday nights, and make it kind of like an event like thing. If you're gonna do it that way, that's my thing.
I like
That's my thinking.
Fridays. I don't mind Fridays at all because I like the fact that I watch it and I know I don't have to go to work the next day. Now, given I haven't worked much this year, but I like the
Or
fact
make it
that
Friday.
yeah, well,
Just
but
I'm
it
just
is
saying make it an
Fridays.
event. Like I think it should be like a timed release. Like not just like 12
Gotcha,
a.m. I
gotcha.
think
Like what
like
they did with Game of Thrones, where even on HBO,
yeah,
the app it released after
yeah,
after it streamed or after. No, actually, it
yeah.
released at
So
the same time that it actually aired, right?
yeah, like if you're gonna do it, then do appointment viewing for it. Like
That I agree.
every
That'd be cool.
Friday at 8 p.m. The Mandalorian releases.
That
I
okay.
just say Sunday because I'm used to Sundays and I like Sunday as like a day to watch things.
Okay, I misunderstood,
Because
but
it's
no,
like
I
the last bit of joy that I have before I start realizing that I have to go to work the next day.
yeah, that was the problem with Game of Thrones. It's like that was literally the last bit of joy you got to watch, and then you knew shit work
But
tomorrow.
see, I enjoyed that with Game of Thrones because if obviously I would have preferred Game of Thrones coming all out at once, but I enjoyed it because if I probably would have watched Game of Thrones earlier in the week and then I wouldn't have that on Sunday. I would just be moping around. At least I had excitement on Sunday to watch something at a certain time. So, but yeah, no, I think it's gonna be fun. I think it's gonna be a great series. I'm gonna enjoy talking about it every week. If you're watching, spoilers, everybody, we're gonna spoil Mandalorian every week.
Our goal is not
That's
to spoil it. Our goal is to have conversations with our viewers. So make sure you watch it.
that's true. And make sure you talk about it in the chat.
Yeah, yeah, the chat, the highly active
That
chat.
I've been ignoring the chat too.
Oh,
So
the chat's been ignoring us.
there we go. That's cool. It happens. So, all right, guys, you ready to get into our rediscovery?
Oh
Let's do
yeah,
it.
oh yeah.
All right. So, as we mentioned, we're doing rediscovery segment every week. This week is rediscover movies or film. Oh, same thing, movies and film, the same thing. Rediscover movies. I don't. I guess it was more of me saying I didn't know which one sounded better. Rediscover film, rediscover movies. Like, which would you prefer?
You know, for the era this movie's in, let's go with film.
Rediscover film, yeah, because it's true. It was shot on film, so shot and edited on film. Therefore, it is rediscover film. Um, this week we are doing the 90s classic, which is the 30th anniversary. I actually, when I was reading, like the 30th anniversary of
Nice.
Dick Tracy.
We don't
Um,
celebrate actual anniversaries here. It needs to be
That's true.
yeah, usually it's like the 29th anniversary,
yeah,
but this
exactly.
actually is this is the 30th anniversary. Or this year, I think it came out in the summer, a couple months back. But 30th anniversary of Dick Tracy, directed by Warren Beatty, based off of the obviously, I don't know if you guys paid attention to comic strips or whatever. Really old comic strip by Chester Gold, right?
Gold, 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 gold.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, with Dick Tracy, he directed it and starred in it, and had a killer cast, man.
Yes.
Like,
So many people.
what a killer cast.
Ridiculous.
And if you haven't watched it and you're watching in the chat and you haven't watched Dick Tracy, do yourself a favor and watch Dick Tracy because it like I watched it twice since last week, um because it is like one of the I think like one of the best comic book movies. Like now like it's one that people don't really think about, but going back like man, it is everything I want in a comic book movie about Dick Tracy. Like from colors to score to acting, like, story. Yeah, man, what a good movie. I enjoyed it. So get your guys' thoughts before we dive in.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was really nice to rewatch it. It'd been a number of years before I saw it last, so it was really cool to check it out again. And I was a huge fan of the comic strip. Used to read those a lot as a kid. Yeah, it's just same, just kind of just a lot of fun. It
Yep.
was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was good to relive this movie. Definitely reminded me of growing up. So definitely that nostalgia feeling. And talk about movies that live up, man. This movie is so good, and it's like literally watching a live action version of Batman the Animated Series. That's how it's shot. And basically, this is the original Sin City right here. The cinematography is fantastic, man. It looks so good.
yeah,
It's just such a fun film. Warren Beatty is killer as Dick Tracy. He pulls it off, and even Madonna, dude. Even Madonna sells this.
Like
Man,
yeah.
I was blown away by Madonna. Like I was, yeah, that was the one big surprise for me. Was just like What?
So I was blown away by Madonna, but the thing that like was crazy to me is that this movie's rated PG.
Yes.
And I'm like watching this, and you have
Yes.
Madonna where you could clearly see like full on frontal nudity, like through her like see through like thing. Like I was just shocked that this movie was really, and I know that Disney, it's a Touchstone Pictures, so it's owned by Disney obviously,
Mm,
but it what didn't go under Disney, like when I was reading about this, it didn't go under Disney's the trademark like Disney Walt Disney
Mm,
because of it was too racy.
yeah.
But even too racy was a PG rating. Like this movie would definitely be on a minimum of PG-13, but with the nudity, it would have been R-rated. Like so I was like really shocked by that was like one of the main things. But I was just speaking like Madonna, yeah, she was that just kind of got me sidetracked because, but she was yeah, she was incredible on it. Like I was reading like all these crazy facts about it. Like she really wanted to be in the movie, and so she made just SAG rate. So she was paid like
Oh
$1,400
wow.
a week. And so this is when she was going on like her big tour in the 90s. So she was like I don't know actually. I don't know when Madonna like hit her peak fame, but I feel like she was getting up there
mm.
on in fame. But yeah, she only made like $30,000 on this movie or something compared to Warren Beatty who made like 9 million.
Oh,
So,
I mean, a comparison though.
yeah. Um, but no, Warren Beatty was great. Like,
Yep.
he was trying to make this movie for a long time. Like, I think they tried to make it in like 75 or something like that too.
Oh wow.
Like, it was like, or maybe 80. No, I think it was like 75. So, and then he bought the rights for the film in 85, and then he made it in 90. Um, and yeah, it's like Warren Beatty's great, but I mean, Al Pacino, big boy, like,
Oh my God, yes.
dude, like, what a character, man. Like,
And
like
Yeah.
he owns it too. Everybody in this film owns their character, and they play it to the T, dude.
but
They
he owns every like scene though. Any scene that even when Warren Beatty's in the scene, like if if Al Pacino's in that scene, like he owns that scene. Like it is a big boy. Like I want to watch a big boy series. Like
oh,
like do
a prequel.
not a prequel or something. Do big boy like how he became who he was. Um, but man, I mean, he was nominated for supporting actor for it for that role. So
I forgot how fast this, like the pace of this film goes. Like right off the bat, the
Yeah.
moment it starts, it's
yeah,
just boom, 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 and as fast as it goes, it's just so easy to keep up with. Like it's just
Yeah.
good storytelling. And can we talk about Dustin Hoffman's character, dude?
Yeah.
Mumbles. Oh
Mumbles
my
man.
God, I love
Uh,
it.
big boy did it. Big boy did it. Big boy did it.
He
Big boy did
kills
it.
it too.
Big boy
Like I
did
said,
it.
every actor in this movie, they just own their character, and Dustin Hoffman just totally nails it, man. It is
Yeah.
hilarious. It is just killer, and yeah, I got nothing bad to say about this film. Nothing.
God, like I remember like as a kid when I first watched it, just the opening scene when they're sitting around in the warehouse and they're sitting around playing cards and you have like little face, and they just get mowed down by Flat
Yes,
Top. Like it just opens like, wow, this is gonna be a great film. I don't know if my brother's watching. He is watching. There he is. That's
he's
him right
probably.
there. No Enigma.
Oh, hey, he's on chat.
Yeah, my brother's on chat. I was gonna say because I'm gonna tell a story is that he was obsessed with Dick Tracy when he was younger as a kid when this came out, and so when other kids were writing like astronauts in school to get like autographs, he wrote like this Dick Tracy collector to talk to him because he was just obsessed with it, and
Oh,
so everybody would get like this like Armstrong um, autograph back, and then Wes got this giant box full of Dick Tracy stuff, like collector's Dick Tracy stuff, like stuff that's related to the movie, but also
wow.
like older stuff. It was really awesome, and yeah, he was a huge Dick Tracy fan, and I told him that we were going to be talking about it, so that's why.
I remember too, like there was a lot of merch around the time
Oh
of the
yeah,
movies,
Hmm.
obviously, and it was just like I
well they had
remember
like
like yeah, the watch and
they had big plans. Like Disney had huge plans for it. There was a ride at Disneyland that there was going to open up. They ended up closing it down because it involved you shooting people with Tommy guns in a car.
Jeez.
Oh.
um, and then it didn't make. Um, I think it made 100 million in box office.
Hmm.
Uh, and it's the highest grossing movie that Warren Beatty ever starred in.
Oh.
But it didn't make enough. I think it broke even in like DVD sales. Now, like I've been like doing all this research about it because I was like fascinated by it. Hey, there's look, it's just a family affair. I have both my brother and my sister in here.
Oh, yay.
Nice.
There you go.
Oh, Dick Tracy fans. That's awesome.
There you go. They talk about Dick Tracy every time they hang out.
No, dude, this movie, like, again, I watched it a few times as a kid. It wasn't those, one of those movies that I would watch on a regular basis or an annual basis. But watching it again made me realize I need to watch this more. I definitely need to put it on my list as an annual film to watch because it's
Yeah.
that good, and I need to share this movie with more people.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
it's short. It's like only an hour and 45.
yeah, it's
Why
not
do
that
what do you
bad.
how do you think what do you think the magic of it was? Like we talked a little bit, yeah, like the cinematography and all that. What do you think why it still holds up even watching it today?
I mean, I feel like I'll sit there and it's because it's a period piece. It's mobster gangsters, and so you can
Always
go back and
sells.
watch those because you're watching something that's supposed to be dated. But I also
It's
think it
true.
holds up because of the color palette. Like I think
Yeah.
just the way they shot the yeah with the colors. Um, I think they only have like 9 or 10 colors they use throughout the movie or something ridiculous.
Jeez.
Yeah, like in the costume design. Yeah, I just think it just like the way it was shot. Yeah,
It's
it
it's
holds
a
up.
it's a
But
comic book movie, but it feels like a mobster movie. That's the thing too. It's
Yeah,
like
it's
you got
true.
I
these
thought it's a mobster
characters.
movie.
No, I get it's a mobster movie, but people, you see these characters, and if you were to just watch this trailer, you might think, "Oh, I'm not interested in this," just based on the trailer alone. But if you watch the movie, it delivers like a mobster movie, just like they own these characters, but everything plays like a real mobster movie. It doesn't really stand out as a comic book movie, even though it is. If I'm
I
getting
think
my
the
point
comic book
across.
elements. I think like just the makeup effects and stuff like that. Like they clearly make the characters more comic. Like they base
Yeah,
them off the comic. Like little face, brows, even Big Boy. Which I always found like fascinating that Al Pacino actually recreated that character. Like they had a vision for original vision for Big Boy, and it was more based off the comic book, which where Big Boy was a hefty, like overweight boss,
yeah,
crime
yeah.
boss. But Al Pacino redid everything on that character, and like he essentially owned like that character is his interpretation of him pushing that character. Like this is how I want to play Big Boy, and this is what I want to look like as Big Boy, and like he just stole the show on it.
And
Like
that's the fun part about this movie too is that in this time era you did have mobsters with these nicknames, Big Boy, Flat Top, but here you have the literal interpretation of Flat Top,
yeah,
of Big Boy. Like it's so good, like it's so well delivered, and yeah, just the cast. I mean, everything was perfect for this film. I wouldn't change a damn thing, and even the kid was damn good. Go suck an
Go
egg.
suck an egg. Go
I
suck an
love
egg.
it. Well
I mean,
delivered,
that kid,
man.
like
Well
at that
delivered.
time, he was like in everything, right? He was in Hook. That kid was
Mm.
in like all those movies as, yeah, my brother, The Rock, yeah,
Oh
throughout
yeah,
this time, like The
Rocketeer, The Shadow.
Rocketeer, Shadow. Yeah, so I guess there was like obviously a lot of comic book movies that were coming out at this time. Obviously, Batman, I think, kicked off the tone too. Like Batman released in '89, and so you have like
Yeah.
such a huge hit. And so, yeah, yeah, it's just a good
Mumbos.
time for like these type of movies. And then it took a break, and then you kicked up with like Blade in 2000, right? Blade was 2000, right?
Gosh, was it that?
Yes,
Has that been 20
99.
years now too?
No, maybe it was later than that. Maybe it was 80. No, 95.
Oh, I don't
Maybe
know. I
Blade
thought it
was in
was.
95. I don't remember. Um, but
How would
yeah,
you guys feel about a reboot? I could have sworn I heard something about Dick Tracy reboot somewhere.
Warren Beatty, I think he even because owns the rights to it still, and he still
Oh,
says he wants
really?
to make a yeah, he owns the rights. That's why they did like this Christmas special back in 2000 something. And it was literally for him to keep the rights to it.
Wow.
So, and it was like a really terrible Christmas special where he played like an older Dick Tracy. Um, God, when was it? Like
With the
2008 or something like that?
Did they see the Star Wars special and say I had to do this?
Yeah, literally, it was just made so he can keep the rights to the movie.
Mm.
Um, but
Interesting.
yeah, but he's talked about making a sequel to it.
Yeah,
Um,
I would love to see a sequel. Don't reboot this movie. Leave it as is. Sequel, I'm down for that.
Yeah.
yeah, hey, there's yeah, so cool, and just I love like the facts about the movie too. Like, Danny Elfman obviously did the score for it,
Mm.
and he was obviously Batman kind of was the reason why he got the job because his score on Batman. But apparently he hated working with Warren Beatty. He said he was crazy and insane.
Really?
Yeah, apparently it was really hard. Like uh, Gene Hackman was offered the role of Lips Manalus, but he turned it down because he refused to be directed by Warren Beatty again after his like past
Wow.
movie he did. Yeah, so apparently Warren Beatty was not the nicest person in the world. Um, yeah, it's good. I really enjoyed it.
Yep. Same
I
here.
watched it twice this week. So, anything else you guys want to say on this?
If you haven't seen it, go watch it. Definitely a must watch. You can watch it on HBO Max. It's not on Disney Plus, right? For the same reason.
No, no, it's
Yeah.
HBO Max right now.
So yeah, it's on HBO
Yeah,
Max right now. So
it was pretty dark too at that end, where it's basically Warren. I think he wanted to make the movie just to get in that final scene where he's just mowing down all the
All the
cars, like the
oh,
old
as they're
school,
coming out.
like the old school game cards.
like
Yeah,
literally he shot up like 3 or 4 cars, right? And it's literally just a shot back to him, like
yeah. Never runs out of ammo.
never runs out of ammo.
um, God,
Oh
I just like
man.
think I can't get over how good Big Boy Al Pacino like every line he says, like the whole like ending when he's like having conversations with himself as he's kidnapping Tess, and
Oh
he's like
my God!
threatening to like
Yes.
he's like, why don't you poke your head out? Poke your head out. I just want to see your head. I just want you so I can crush it like a walnut.
Funny because he's screaming through like half of the movie at least too.
Yeah. Oh man, it's so good. And then like his quotes, he's like,
They're
just
trying.
yeah. So
Always
good.
like they try to frame me. They make me look like I kidnap you. I didn't kidnap you. Kidnapping you now, but I didn't kidnap you.
Oh, it's so
Yeah.
good. Um,
Oh, it's amazing.
yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Such a
Now I'm just
fun ride.
reminiscing. I'm just thinking of other stuff.
Yeah, just thinking about all the
Like
scenes.
Mandy
Yeah,
Keys. Yeah. Like everybody, all the characters were great in it, man.
yeah.
Like they were all really good characters. Um, yeah. All right. That's our rediscovery segment. Dick Tracy. Yeah.
And so next week is our television rediscovery.
Yeah. Yeah. So next week, we're rediscovering TV. um,
Rediscover
so
TV.
Yeah,
yeah,
for the first
rediscover
time.
TV. That works. TV or television? I'm joking. Um, so next week we're
Boob
going to be
tube.
discussing the classic hit series Doogie Howser. You could watch it on Hulu. And I know we actually talked about this. Like, we talked about this one for a while back because Caesar, you were watching Doogie Howser. And then I started watching it because I was like, I'm gonna watch an episode, and then I just kind of got locked into it. And again,
Yeah,
it's the same thing. It's like in the '90s, like I can't believe that was on network television. Like the way they like some of the things. We'll get
yeah.
more into it um next week. But yeah, I was like surprised that the I forgot what's the system called? Rental
System.
system? Like whatever the system that like R-rated, but even for
Oh,
television. Like man, it's just like in the '90s it was so different than it is now. Like well now you have all these other channels.
I mean, you had Married with Children in the '90s. Enough said.
That's what I mean. Yeah, you have like married film.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, some of the stuff would never be on network tele.
Mhm.
Well, nah, that's not true. It's kind of got a little more lenient. But I was just kind of shocked because as a kid watching like Dick Tracy, I don't recall like thinking like, holy cow, this is really adult. And then
Yeah.
when I watch it now, I'm like, wow, I probably shouldn't have been watching this as a
Yeah.
kid. Like, I probably obsessed over Madonna's boobs when I was like, I probably pointed like, oh my gosh, did you see that? Like, because I was shocked when I saw it.
Well, I
You
was
know?
just shocked. Like she was like, I didn't realize, especially in that movie, she's really beautiful, and I
Yes.
Yeah.
never
Yes.
associated Madonna with being like really beautiful. Thought her being a little bit more eccentric and almost like she had that persona that like Lady Gaga. She took on that
Yes.
persona
Yeah.
in her different outfits and stuff. But man, she was just like, yeah,
Stunning. Stunning.
stunning. Yeah,
Absolutely
great.
stunning.
Yeah. I was surprised by that. I was not expecting that. But and because also too, I've never been a huge Madonna fan of
Yeah.
her music, but she was fantastic in this. And obviously she wrote a lot of those tracks, and that was a big part she wanted to contribute.
Well, she wanted to perform. I think they brought in, um,
Did they bring in a songwriter?
yeah, the songwriter was from, like he's a Broadway songwriter
Oh, okay.
that came in, and I think like she won best. I think they won 4 Academy Awards for this film.
Mm,
They won best art direction, best makeup, best song, and something else.
nice.
Yeah, or no, 3 Oscars maybe. Maybe it's just those three. Yeah, so they had like a Broadway film writer come in. I'm assuming it was Madonna, so she kind of helped, but I know that some of the songs were written by that guy.
Nice.
But she performed them like
Yeah.
sooner or later. Like, I mean, that's the song that won the Oscar.
Hmm.
Like, that's such a great song. Like,
Yeah.
and that it's such a the way they did the music too. Like, I thought we were done talking about this, but now I'm just thinking, like,
Yeah, that's why
when
I'm
they did
jumping
the
back to drink the trailer.
yeah, when they do montages, like, and the way they use music in those things. So you have like back in business, ain't it grand? And that's when Dick Tracy's in prison, and it's like all the cut shots of like
Yeah.
the mobsters like taking money or like mowing down people,
Pete,
and then
yeah.
but then you
As
have
Dick
sooner or
Tracy's
later.
spinning and spinning and spinning.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you have like sooner or later, like that was the first song, and then that's when Dick Tracy is like, it's that moment where Tessa's leaving, and but it's Tracy taking down the mob, like it's headlight when he's on all the headlines, and they're like bugged Big Boy, and like Big Boy's getting upset. It's like Tracy, Tracy, Tracy. Everywhere I look, it's Tracy.
I love it
Um,
too. Dick Tracy with the shots at his desk when he's looking at just the two like drawings. And he's kind of looking at
Oh,
them and he's like,
sketches.
it's like he's like, trying to act like confused and he's just like, I can't figure this out.
like they look the same.
But it's only 2 papers.
Yeah.
Tracy, did you get the sketches? Yeah, I got the sketches.
Yeah.
They're the same sketch.
But yeah, the
And
way they
the- and
use the
the-
music though.
Yeah. No, sorry, go ahead.
That was it. That's yeah, just like yeah, it was just a really well put together film. And
And he completely forgot his meal of choice was chili.
Oh, man,
when
that's
he had
right.
like the chili can, he's like dipping his fork in.
Exactly. This is
So
so
good.
good.
Oh
So
man.
good.
Yeah. Now I'm just like trying to think back on some other cool moments.
I love that
Yeah.
scene where he's trying to be hidden and he's climbing the building to spy on
Oh yeah.
the. But he's clearly visible and
And a yellow coat.
big old yellow coat.
Yeah.
And they walk out and he's just trying to be hidden.
But I love it too when they shoot up Tessa's apartment and then like she just walks in afterwards. And they have that moment. So I'm just gonna go inside and go to sleep just right after the whole building just got shot
Yeah.
up.
I'm not terrified. You know, I don't need to call the cops or anything. Just go do your thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So. Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff.
So good, we have to come back to it.
Yeah, so and, you know, and I'm gonna continue, and probably gonna end the show, and then like right before we end, I'm gonna think about something and be like,
Yeah.
this was great too. Um, yeah, now it makes me because I have like the first, I have like the collectors from 1931 through 1935 of all the comic book, all
Oh,
the
nice.
comic strips, like dailies and
Oh,
Sundays.
those are so good, man.
And like I just want to go back through and read them now.
Yeah, I used to read those a lot back in the day. They just,
Yeah,
I love the style. I just love the stories. They were just, yeah. And they
yeah,
got
and
pretty in depth too. They would have these long arcs.
yeah. Ben's actually big into cops and robbers right now. I think they've been playing it at school. So literally every time I come home, he just wants to play cops and robbers. And so he grabs like things that he says is money, and then I have to chase him around. And I'm like, get back here, he's robbing the bank. And Finn's like running around. And then he's like so excited and happy that he starts losing because he can't hold them all. So he's like dropping the money into something straight out of like a movie. And I'm like, he's dropping the cash. So now I'm like, it's is the movie, it's PG, right? So you technically can watch the movie, right?
I think he has to worry about his boobs.
He's not gonna know what those are.
Well, then the Tommy gun blowout at the end.
He watches Star Wars, but I'm
It's
saying like,
crazy. I don't know how that was PG, man.
yeah, like it opens up with a bunch of guys getting mowed down, and then
Yeah.
eat lead Tracy, like,
Cheating
like,
Tracy, that's awesome.
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
man.
What's villains in the comic die so brutally? See, I need to go back through and read that and see. I mean, they die brutally in the movie. Like, what's up with the fishes? He put Lips Manalus in like the the bath.
Oh, the
As he
bath.
called it. Yeah.
Well, and it's funny too. It's like he said when he goes to the warehouse and it's the trap, and he switches places with the person who's already in the cement bath. Like,
Yeah.
why would you get all covered in cement? And then his
But
gun doesn't work.
Yeah, I do love the fact that the gun doesn't work. Like they kind of play into it, and he's like
Yeah.
rubbing his eyes like he can't see.
Why? Oh man, brilliant.
Oh wow, they freeze to death and then they fall on spikes.
That's pretty brutal.
Yeah, that's
It's
definitely not
surprising.
PG.
It's surprising how like the meta score it's so low,
Is it?
but it's skewed because yeah, it's interesting. Like Roger Ebert basically gave it like a 100,
Oh wow.
but like some people from the Washington Post and Chicago Reader gave it like 40 and 50.
Did they have their own show?
It's true. Probably
Enough
not.
said. Enough said.
Here, let me now that we're just killing time talking about Dick Tracy, let me break down some more facts for you guys on this.
On Dick Tracy?
Yeah, and Dick
Okay.
Tracy. Martin Scorsese was up for directing it, but then he.
Wait a minute. Wait, I'm having a thought. Oh yes.
Yeah,
Oh yes. I'm gonna
Oh,
have a
having
thought.
Wait, no,
It's
no,
coming.
It's gone.
It's gone.
That's at the end when he's like going crazy.
Yeah.
He's like talking to himself, and he's in the. Oh man.
Dude, the chemistry between Warren Beatty and Madonna in this movie is so great.
Yeah, they ended up dating afterwards.
They did.
too.
They did.
Yeah,
But yeah, they do like that scene when she comes to his office and he's just sitting there, just stern, and she gets in his face and he doesn't flinch.
Yeah.
Like I love that scene so much because he's just not giving in. He just wants what he wants. He wants her to just be the witness that he needs. And oh my god, so good.
I gotta say, like Tess is pretty chill too.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
Oh, she is badass too, though, man. I love that. I love how she says her goodbyes to Dick Tracy as he's leaving the diner. She turns around. You want to get your arm broken off?
Yeah. I don't like dames. Good. Neither do I.
Yeah, like she's just like she's her. I just love because she's like a powerful woman. She's her own
Yes.
person. Like she leaves Dick Tracy. She's like, yeah, I don't need to put up
Screw
with
it, I'm
this.
gone.
Yeah, I don't need to put up with this.
If you ain't for the people, you can't buy the people. Lincoln.
Oh, they're the other interesting fact. Macaulay Culkin was up for the role of the kid, but passed it down to do Home Alone.
It worked out for
Yeah.
both of them.
And actually, Warren Beatty was supposed to like direct Misery, but he turned it down to do Dick Tracy.
Hey, it worked out for both of them.
Starring director. Yeah, no, it's crazy. Yeah, there's so much. I think like the coolest thing is like looking back on these movies, and then there's so much history that you get to see. Like there's facts and all these like behind the things like behind the scenes things that you can read about that just make it like even like cooler when you know the behind the
Yeah.
scenes stories of these films.
Hmm.
Okay, now I think we're officially done with the rediscovery segment.
So good.
Yeah. Um,
Hopefully our subsequent films will live up.
I was gonna say, yeah,
I
we
know
got.
that's what I'm really worried
It's a high
about.
bar now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude, we started off strong.
yeah. I'm gonna say
although
like
although our next one I think is going to be
so.
up
Our
there.
next one, you guys can share the next one. I'm actually excited about this because I've never fully seen it, but
So like we said last week, we're going to do a comic book, and then we're going to revisit a movie, and then a television show, and then a game, and then we're going to repeat. So for our next movie revisit, it's going to be Grandma's Boy. And I love Caesar's take on why it's so good. What was it, Caesar?
2 reasons. It's just that damn good, and the second reason, there's no Adam Sandler in it.
yeah, I haven't watched it. People quote it. Everybody like I think I've seen like bits and pieces of it, but I've never watched it fully. So I'm excited about it. Um, Next week, obviously, we're doing Doogie Howser. Our game, which we'll be talking about in 2 weeks, is Arkham Asylum. We're gonna go back to the original Batman that started it all off in the Arkham series. And so we're going to be doing that. We don't have what the next game is after that, or we haven't
Comic book.
comic book yet. The next TV series, though, we'll talk about next week, but it looks like it's
Yep.
going to be Attack on Titan. But we'll get more information on that next week. But that's it, guys. That's it for the show. I'm going to cut this short show early because
Yeah, you guys.
Stress.
there's a pit in my stomach that just tells me that I'm gonna turn on the news and it's gonna be extremely bad, and I'm gonna like go into misery. And I bought myself some cake, and I was hoping it was gonna be a celebration cake, but it's gonna probably be a depression cake.
Politics.
Yes, I'm going to politics, and I hope everybody voted that's watched this. Um, and I'm hoping that maybe it's not as bad as I have in my head, but I have a feeling it's bad. I just have this gut feeling, and maybe I just have that feeling because I want to have that feeling because I want to be surprised when it's not. But I'm hoping.
Well, what are you using for tracking? Like, who are you watching?
I watch all the different news sites.
You ever seen the Red
Obviously,
Zone? That's Jansen.
yeah. No, I had like when Tasha came home today, she's like, "Do you have?" Because I was watching TV out in the living room, I was watching CNN, and then she's like, "Do you have CNN on in the office?" I'm like, "No, I have MSNBC, and I've been going back and forth between the two." And she's like, "Turn that down." Um, so yeah, I've been watching like news. Yeah, so hopefully. You're welcome, man. If anybody has no, don't tell me. I'll figure out.
Yeah, no. We don't need to talk about it here. No Enigma, thank you
Yeah.
for joining. I'm glad we could
Yeah, thank you.
distract you, and thank you for joining us during this distraction. It was fun. Lady Seth, thank you for joining. Thank you for watching, and definitely glad we could touch on Dick Tracy. I'm glad that was our first
Yeah.
movie for the Rediscovery.
Yeah, this is a really good choice
Absolutely.
there, Anthony. Good choice. And yeah, we'll be back next week. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, so Twitter. Please subscribe to our channel or follow our channel. Here we're trying to hit that 50, guys. I don't like pushing it, but we're trying to hit that 50 so we can get affiliate status.
We get affiliate status. We could do a lot more.
Yeah, we could do more. So yeah, so please, if you know people, tell them to tune in. We'll be back next week, 7 p.m. PT time next Tuesday. And we'll have some post-election discussion.
Maybe.
I'll tell you about how my week's gone based off how the next 15 minutes are going to go. But yeah, thank you for tuning in. It's been a great show. Appreciate it, guys. And don't forget to rediscover
Your
geek.
Oh, getting better.
Ooh.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Peace.
Bye.